Did I understand you to testify that anti-Semitism is worse under the Trump administration?
I'll tell you that anti-Semitism has been rising, especially since the 2017
but has the Trump
Charlottesville
administration
attack.
caused that? Is that your testimony?
I wouldn't say the Trump administration has caused anti-Semitism. Has there been an increase since Trump has entered office? Yes.
So you think one way to stop anti-Semitism is to give people more money? Is that
I
right?
think one of the ways is to actually fund people that are actually designed to investigate anti-Semitism on college campuses.
What's there to investigate? We see it.
I think that they are
You
trying
need to
find
stop dipping into your ketamine stash.
into what? Excuse me?
Now, if we're going to solve this problem, we need to talk about it.
I'm
And
happy
it
to
wasn't
talk
just
about
at Columbia. It was at Berkeley. It was at UCLA. It was at Barnard. And Columbia has a history of discriminating against Jewish people. They used to refuse to let Jewish students come to their university.
All right, folks, buckle up, because today we have Senator John Kennedy doing what he does best, taking apart ridiculous arguments with pure logic and a touch of that Louisiana charm. Now, this time, he's grilling Democratic witnesses who are trying to blame Trump for anti-Semitism. Yeah, you heard that right. They're out here suggesting that the rise in anti-Semitism is somehow Trump's fault, and Senator Kennedy isn't having it. Stick around because this exchange gets heated, and trust me, you won't believe how these witnesses try to wiggle out of it. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Now, let's get into it.
Thank you all for being here. Ms. Solomon, I want to be sure I understand your testimony. Did I understand you to testify that anti-Semitism is worse under the Trump administration?
Senator, thank you for your question.
You don't have to thank me. Okay. Your best thanks is to answer.
Okay, well, I'll tell you that anti-Semitism has been rising, especially since the 2017
but has the Trump
Charlottesville
administration
attack.
caused that? Is that your testimony?
I wouldn't say the Trump administration has caused anti-Semitism. Has there been an increase since Trump has entered office? Yes.
Do you see a causal connection there?
Yes.
Why?
Trump has highlighted and platformed neo-Nazis and white supremacists.
Okay. Mr. I can't see that far.
Racklin.
Mr. Racklin, I understood you to say that in answer to Senator Durbin's question, the spending reductions, reducing the federal budget would increase anti-Semitism. Isn't that what you said?
No, I did not. I said that the constant threats to cut money to the Office for Civil Rights and the Department of Education prevents the federal government from adequately investigating anti-Semitism and other hate crimes on college campuses.
So you think one way to stop anti-Semitism is to give people more money? Is that right?
I think one of the ways is to actually fund people that are actually designed to investigate anti-Semitism on college campuses.
What's there to investigate? We see it.
We see
We
it,
saw
but
it. Did you watch television? Did you see what happened at Columbia?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, it was clear to me that the administration at Columbia and most members of the faculty believed passionately in diversity, equity, inclusion, and the right to hurt Jews. That's what I saw. Isn't that what you saw?
I saw.
Isn't that what you saw?
I saw protesters against the war in Gaza and them using some anti-Semitic slogans and thoughts. I would say, however, that it's hard. I would say,
isn't that
however,
what you're telling me?
that
That's not what you saw. Now, don't get off the subject on me now. You're telling me that's not what you saw.
I'm telling you that it is difficult for the federal government to adequately address the issue of anti-Semitism.
Are you telling me the
the
Columbia administration and the faculty was supportive of the Jewish community?
I think that they are
You
trying
need
to
to
find
stop dipping into your ketamine stash.
into what? Excuse me?
Now, if we're going to solve this problem, we need to talk about it.
And
it wasn't just at Columbia. It was at Berkeley. It was at UCLA. It was at Barnard. And Columbia has a history of discriminating against Jewish people. They used to refuse to let Jewish students come to their university. Now, you can try to bubble wrap this, but that's what I saw. If you want to stop a lot of the anti-Semitism, maybe we need to stop teaching kids to be anti-Semitic.
Sir, I would relish that opportunity.
Let me
I would-
ask you a question, Ms. Kohab. Did I say that right?
Kohav.
Do you think it's possible to feel compassion rather, for the Palestinian people without hating Jews?
Absolutely.
Would you elaborate on that? Because it looks to me like many of our Ivy League universities, they weren't the only ones. Some universities handled it well. Vanderbilt, University of Chicago, Tulane. But it looks like the administration was teaching kids you got to pick a side. Mm-hmm. You either have to hate Jews or you have to be for Hamas. You can't be. There's no middle ground. Tell me what you saw. You've written a book about it. Maybe Mr. Rockland ought to read it.
Kennedy drives the final point home. Maybe if we want to stop anti-Semitism, we should stop teaching kids to be anti-Semitic. Boom, mic drop. He points out that Columbia, Berkeley, UCLA, and other major universities are actively allowing anti-Semitic hate to fester. And instead of actually addressing the problem, these witnesses are here trying to blame Trump or demand more taxpayer money. It's insanity, and Kennedy calls it out for what it is. So there you have it. Another powerful takedown by Senator Kennedy, exposing the hypocrisy, the ridiculous arguments, and the real problem behind the rise of anti-Semitism. They don't want to talk about radicalization on college campuses. They don't want to admit how DEI policies are being weaponized against Jews. Instead, they want to blame Trump. But the truth is out there, and we're going to keep exposing it. If you agree, hit that subscribe button right now, because we're not backing down. We're going to keep calling out the nonsense and holding these people accountable. Leave a comment below. What do you think is driving the rise in anti-Semitism? And I'll see you in the next one.